What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. I hope you guys had a good weekend, but it's time to start off the week talking about some Raptors, in particular NBA drafts. Now, despite being about a month away from the NBA draft, it seems like we're getting news regarding the Raptors on a daily, and this is great for us fans because this is exciting times. So for today's video, I want to talk about how the Raptors can get really lucky at that number 4 spot thanks to a team that is ahead of them. And no, this does not include a trade. And I also want to break some recent Raptors news down for you. So before we get into the details of all of that, you know the drill, guys. Give this video a thumbs up as it helps reach more basketball fans like yourself across YouTube. And if you could hit that subscribe button as well, it really helps this channel grow. You get a lot of Raptors content on here, including in-depth analysis, latest rumors, Raptors news regarding the draft, and then free agency is coming up as well. So to keep up with all of that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. So let's start today's video by talking about the recent news regarding the Raptors. So shout out to, I think it was Rap City on Instagram that broke this news out. No other media outlet broke this, and it was Masai Ujiri, who was spotted at Jonathan Kuminga's NBA Draft Combine workout. Now, would the Raptors actually seriously consider Jonathan Kuminga at that 4 spot? Realistically speaking, if I'm being honest, I don't think so. I mean, I mentioned in my few previous draft videos about how they had interviews with Scotty Barnes, Keon Johnson, but as I mentioned, I think that is just them doing their due diligence. Now, it's a little bit different with Jonathan Kuminga just because he's projected to go in that 5th spot. So maybe the Raptors are seeing options. I don't necessarily think they'll pass on someone like Jalen Suggs to draft Jonathan Kuminga, just because when you take a look at positional needs, Jonathan Kuminga is a small forward / power forward, and we are already set with OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam at that position. We also have Chris Boucher playing the power forward position. So I don't think, realistically speaking, I don't see the Raptors taking Jonathan Kuminga. He is a really interesting prospect, but I don't think he fits on our team. But I understand where, you know what, some people may feel differently though. Some people will say, well, you draft talent, not positional needs, and I totally understand that. It's just with how our team is set up. I think the position for where Jonathan Kuminga plays, OG Anunoby is going to play heavy minutes, same with Pascal Siakam, so I just don't know where the minutes are going to come from for Jonathan Kuminga. But let's move on to the other news, which is some really interesting news, and that team is the Cleveland Cavaliers, who may help the Raptors with their 3rd overall pick. And no, this does not include a trade. So how are the Cleveland Cavaliers helping the Raptors? Well, they're also apparently very interested in Jonathan Kuminga. This is great news for us Raptors fans, and it may seem like they're just doing, you know what, their due diligence, just like the Raptors, but that is not the case. An article came out recently talking about how the Cleveland Cavaliers have really liked Jonathan Kuminga and how they have booked him for a private workout next month. So could the Cleveland Cavaliers actually take Jonathan Kuminga at that number 3 spot? And what does that mean for the Raptors? Well, I'm not going to lie. This is actually a player I thought of long before anyone even mentioned it in this article. Just when you look at the overall makeup of the Cleveland Cavaliers, yes, they're reportedly trying to move on from Sexton, but when you look at their lineup, they have Darius Garland, they have Sexton in the back, they also have Jared Allen at the center position, they have Isaac Okoro playing that small forward, power forward position. So if they were to take Jonathan Kuminga, I think they can easily slide him into that power forward position. So I think he actually fits the Cleveland Cavaliers better than I would say most of the teams ahead of us in the NBA draft. So I could definitely see the Cleveland Cavaliers taking him. And the article also mentioned how, you know what, Cleveland Cavaliers are really high on Jonathan Kuminga and they would seriously consider him at that number 3 spot. Now, this is exciting news for us Raptors fans because we know this. Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs. After Cade Cunningham, those 3 players can move anywhere. They could go in the 2 spot, they can go in the 3 spot, but it seems like Cleveland Cavaliers are apparently very interested in Jonathan Kuminga. This leaves us with a lot of options at that number 4 spot. Now, this is some really exciting news, and I rub my hands as I say this because I'm getting excited at the potential thought of drafting a Jalen Green or Jalen Suggs, or maybe a combination of, you want, if Jalen Green goes 2nd, maybe Evan Mobley and Jalen Suggs. That becomes a really interesting scenario. Now, if the Raptors do want, let's pretend they really like Suggs, but Orlando Magic really want Evan Mobley, they could even do something like trade back and get an asset. Maybe, you know what, do one of those trades where Atlanta Hawks did with the Dallas Mavericks, where they trade back and it's a win-win for both teams, because it could be the other way around as well. If the Raptors wanted Mobley and they can trade back one spot and get more assets and draft Mobley at that 5th spot. So that would be really interesting to see how that would play out. But this is really great news for us Raptors fans because it gives us many options. It wouldn't be just one great player. We'd have the option between potentially a Mobley, Suggs, maybe if the Houston Rockets really like Mobley, we get a chance at Jalen Green and Jalen Suggs, and that gets me really excited as a Raptors fan because that is going to be a tough decision to make for management because they have mentioned how they would take best talent available. So there's been a lot of debate about who is the better talent. Is it Jalen Green? Is it Jalen Suggs? Who do you potentially draft? That becomes a really tricky situation. We know Jalen Green is someone who can get you buckets in a hurry. He's a bucket getter, while Jalen Suggs is a really high IQ player who plays very good team ball. We've seen his leadership. We've also seen his clutchness as well. We saw that, you know what, in college basketball as well. So it'll be really interesting to see who they would take. But this is some really great news for Raptors because we potentially not only get someone like Jalen Green, we have a crack at Jalen Suggs. So who would the Raptors management take? Who would you guys take? I want to hear your thoughts, guys, before we end this video off. Would you take Jalen Green? Would you take Jalen Suggs? And I'm probably going to be dropping a video soon between Jalen Green and Jalen Suggs and who the Raptors should take. I'm going to break that down for you guys. I'm going to do a whole entire video of breaking their games down and who fits the Raptors mold better. Who will the Raptors take? So to stay in tune with that, again, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who would you take? Jalen Suggs or Jalen Green? Or if it's a potential of maybe Evan Mobley, do you take Evan Mobley to fill out that center position or do you take Jalen Suggs? Let me know all of that fun stuff in the comment section. If you guys are still watching this video, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. If they were to take Jonathan Kuminga, I think he fits in right. Jalen Suggs, you know the NBA trade combine, not trade combine. Ugh.